Yo, what's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? Decided to get on here a little late, go live. This is probably going to be my last live for a couple of weeks. I will be going back live again in a couple of weeks, but I am going to be busy for the next few weeks. We got a lot of stuff going on my end. Going down to Florida. I will be checking out Florida, where all my Florida people at. If you're from Florida, make sure you leave it in the comments. If not, if you're watching this later, drop it in the comments later. We're definitely going to go down there and do some things. We got Raymond Ford getting ready for another fight in the very near future, so we're going to be starting a camp for that. But I wanted to get on here and go live and chop it up with you guys. I know that, I've been trying to be more consistent with the lives, right? I don't want to necessarily just wait till No Days Off November to do my live streams. I kind of want to do it a couple of times a week, probably get that started in a couple of weeks. But right now, this will be my little live that I'm doing. I know it wasn't promoted, short notice, etc., etc. So if you're watching this late, all good. I hope you get a lot of value from it. I want to go ahead and first say what's up to the people who actually did show up on this short notice. My man Juan Morales, hello from South Texas. What's going on? My man Caesar, always showing love. My man Rare Breed in the building. What's going on, man? Pop the tab. What's good, my guy, my brother? We got David in the building. Salute from Bogota. Not even sure where that's at. But much love to you. We got Christian, Las Vegas in the house. Yo, what's going on, man? I was just in Las Vegas. Big shout out to Las Vegas. I love it over there. Definitely one of my places, you know what I'm saying? We got Miami in the building. Big shout out to Miami. Guys, if there's somebody you think might, gain value from these live streams and what we're going to be talking about, share it. You know what I'm saying? You on your cell phone watching this, click that share button, send it to a friend. We're going to definitely be talking about some stuff. Today's going to be talking about perfecting your offensive strategy, right? So we got to go over, a bunch of different points, right? There's so many things I could talk about. I could be on here for hours, you know what I'm saying? But I'm only going to narrow it down to 10 for right now. And of course, in the future, we'll go ahead and we'll continue to give more, we'll touch on this topic again. But tonight, I want to touch on it, man, because, everybody talks about defense all the time. You know what I mean? But we do got to talk about offense, right? Boxing is 50% offense, 50% defense. You need both, right? Anybody could throw a punch, but at the same time, you got to know why, when, how to throw the punches, how to set up the punches, just a bunch of different things that you have to keep in mind, you know what I'm saying, when you're doing this. We're going to continue to say what's up to a few more people. We got Anthony in the building. What's going on? Much love for San Diego. Much love to you, Chan. We got Sebastian, Chicago coach. Big shout out to Chicago. We got the Bay Area in the building. Big shout out to the Bay. You know what I'm saying? Much love to y'all, man. We got Tommy Jones. What up, coach? What's going on, man? I appreciate you. I appreciate all the quality videos you put out. I've been studying this stuff for a while now. Thank you so much. And right now, guys, I just opened up my Christmas in July sale. So if you guys want those in-depth videos, you guys already know where to go, CoachAnthonyBoxing.com. Also, if you do not have my phone number, grab my number, man. Text me, 215-709-5437. My text message is where I like to update people when I'm going live on a short notice like this. I like to, give little tips here and there. I like to answer questions when I can to people who ask questions. And just go ahead and grab my number, man. Shoot me a text. I'm not going to spam you. I'm just going to hit you up from time to time like, yo, I'm going live, or yo, I got this going on, or yo, I got this, I'm feeling generous. I'm giving out courses for freaking 90% off. Like I be doing all types of stuff, man. Grab the number. It's only going to benefit you, man. And of course, you guys know where to go, CoachAnthonyBoxing.com, if you guys want in-depth boxing instruction. So today we're going to talk about perfecting your offensive strategy, right? So how are we going to do that? How are we going to perfect offense, right? So, this always comes back down to the fundamentals for me, right? So the first thing we want to make sure we do, guys, is we want to make sure we master the basics, right? You need to have a solid understanding of the basics. You know what I'm saying? How to stand, how to throw your punches properly, footwork, defense. You know what I'm saying? You need to have all the fundamentals in place. That's the first step. I mean, we're talking about boxing, right? And in boxing, you don't just want to go into boxing guessing or freestyling, because that's a quick way to get your ass whipped, right? So what you want to make sure you do is you learn the fundamentals. There's a reason why boxers do the things you do. If you notice, when you get two really high level fighters, a lot of the times we think it's going to be an exciting fight, and the fight turns out to be boring. And why does it turn out to be boring? Because both guys mastered the fundamentals to the point where they can't really get over on each other like that, right? So the fights turn out to be a slower paced fight, a boring fight, where you really expected, them to be like just going crazy. But the fact that they understand the game the way they understand it, the fight turns out to be boring a lot of the times because they can't fool each other, right? But when you got one guy who's overmatching another guy, you know what I mean? That's where you get those big time spectacular knockouts. Or if you get two guys who really don't know nothing, that's where you get exciting, just blow for blow, because these guys don't understand the fundamentals. They don't understand the basics. And then every once in a while we get lucky and we get two high level athletes that understand the basics and the fundamentals that just let it all out. And they give us an exciting classic fight. That does happen as well. But the more you understand the basics, it's going to be much easier for you to be able to have a good offensive strategy, for you to be able to set those traps and do those things that we're going to continue to talk about, right? So like the next one, I want to just move right in, like mastering the basics. That's obviously you should without question know that, but I always got to touch on that, because you'd be surprised how many people want to skip the fundamentals and just learn all the cool. Yo, Coach Ant, man, can you teach me how to do angles? And then I like look at them throw a jab, and their jab is horrendous. And I'm like, my guy, like, you don't even know how to throw a jab, brother. Like, you got to get your jab right. We got to get your right hand right. You know what I'm saying? We got to get your hook, uppercut right. We got to get your feet right, toe, heel alignment. We got to get the elbows in. You got the chicken wings going. We got to make sure you're turning punches over. Like, we need to, get that right. Let's get that right first. Once we get that right, we can go ahead and move on. And if you guys need help with that, you guys can always go ahead and look at Build You From The Ground Up 1.0, Build You From The Ground Up 2.0, where I go over those things step by step, the same way I teach people that's been coming to my gym for years on how to learn the basic fundamentals, the basic punches, the basic footwork, and putting them things together, right? The next thing we want to do, definitely. Oh, and guys, please, if you could press the like button, man, that'll be appreciative. Whether you're watching this on Facebook, watching this on YouTube, press the like button, man. It helps me tremendously, right? We're going to continue moving forward now. The next one is we want to set up our punches, right? And, we want to use the jab to do that for the most part, right? The jab is going to be the range finder, right? It's going to be what distracts your opponent is, what's going to create the openings, right? We talk about this all the time. The basic setup that we always talk about, right? You pop a jab, you get a guy to catch you get a guy to reach. He leaves his face exposed for the hook. Or maybe I throw a jab high, just drop the jab low. When I get the guy to drop his hand, that's when I come with an overhand right or a straight right hand over the top, right? Basic things, right? But this is basically what's going to get your offense going, your jab. Your jab is the number one punch in boxing. I got a kid in my community, and he's extremely talented, young kid. He's like 15 years old. And I watch him hit the heavy bag. And one time I had to tell him, and I don't know if you're in the chat right now, champ. I know we got different time zones, but he throws these beautiful combos, right? But I had to tell him one time, like, hey, man, more jabs. Right, so you get people hitting the heavy bag, running numbers on the back. And don't get me wrong, there's a time and a place for that. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, when you're working that jab on that bag, pop, pop. When you're working that bag, pop, 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 like constantly, you should be working that jab. You know what I'm saying? Just constantly. Like if I throw 100 punches, 50, 60 of them are jabs. Because the jab is what's going to keep things going, especially in those quiet moments, right? Those quiet moments where you don't know what to do, right? What's the old saying? When in doubt, jab out, right? You want to consistently be working that jab, consistently be working that jab, working that jab, working that jab. So, and then off your jab is where you're going to go ahead and let your other shots go, your hooks, your crosses, and whatever else that you created, whatever else that you see. You feel what I'm saying? Which is going to also, if anybody got any questions about that right now, you know what I'm saying? You guys can go ahead and drop them in here. We'll do a little Q&A as we're going along, and then I'll continue to go along. That seemed to work really well the last time, right? But the next thing I want to talk about is we want to master our feints, right? So, okay, we talked about the jab. We talked about setting up other punches. But the jab is also another great way to create the feints. But you have to throw a real jab, right? You have to throw your jab like you really mean it. You got to get your guys to believe that you're really throwing it right now. Of course, you could feint any punch in boxing. You could feint the hook, you could feint the right hand. And for those of you who don't know what a feint is simply faking your opponent. I talked about this before. I'm not quite sure why it's called a feint and not a fake, but it's literally a feint. A fake. A feint is a fake, right? So you're just feinting your opponent, getting him to believe that you're doing something. And I made videos on YouTube in the past where I talk about that, where I said you got head feints, hand feints, foot feints, right? I could use a feint, act like I'm going one direction. I can feint with my hand like I'm going to throw a punch and then throw a different punch. Or I could feint with my head and act like I'm dropping my head off this way, bang, and then maybe throw the right hand instead, right? Because most people have a tendency of following where your head goes, right? So a lot of the times when your head goes here, now I'm loaded up on that lead side where I could come back with a hook. But when I go here and then I shoot a sneaky right hand down the line, people don't expect that, right? That's something that works really well against guys when you can lure them to sleep. It works really well against the opposite stance. These are things that you could do. You see guys like Lomachenko that would be very effective with that. They'll constantly drop their head, and then bang, they'll let the left hand go. With him, he'll let the left go, but it's the same thing if I let the right go, and then he'll cut the angle. You feel what I'm saying? So the head feint, the hand feint, and the foot feint, you want to use all three of them. And how do you do it? By making them to believe your offense is real. And that all starts with good fundamentals, a nice, solid, stiff jab. You know what I mean? And then you could build off of that. You feel me? All right. And then the next thing do we have any questions on that right now? Let's go ahead. And just take a look real quick. Good stuff, Coach, man. I appreciate you, champ. All right. It looks like people are pretty much cool and they just listening. So we'll continue to move forward on this, right? The next thing you want to know, next thing you want to keep in mind, all right, when you're working with, thinking about offense, I should say, is combinations. You got to let your hands go, right? So we got the basics intact. We got the jab working. We're setting up our punches off of the jab. We're using our feints. Now we got to put our punches together, right? We can't rely on one punch. Boxing becomes a numbers game after a while. You know what I mean? Of course, you got your strategy, your strategic techniques, your counter punching, et cetera, et cetera. And we're going to talk about some of those things. But at the same time, it's a numbers game. If I throw 4 or 5 punches at you, I'm bound to land one. You feel what I'm saying? But if I throw one and I miss, guess what? I land none. So you definitely want to put your punches together. You know what I mean? You don't want to be a guy who just throws one punch. People like Manny Pacquiao, a great example of a guy who could put punches together. They weren't always the prettiest looking, whatever, but they came fast, they came hard, pause, and he would just overwhelm opponents. I mean, overwhelm them. You see what I'm saying? So you definitely want to let your hands go. But that all comes back down to mastering the basics. Because if you don't know how to throw your punches properly, it's going to be hard for you to put them together in a way where they make sense, in a way where you're effective and you're not running into punches as well, right? But to make a long story short, you definitely want to put your punches together. You see what I'm saying? That's the next one. The next thing, all right, we definitely want to do and we want to think about when we're thinking about offense, right, is we want to set traps, right? So how do we set traps? I mean, a lot of times we set traps off the defense, right? And then off the defense, we start to posture and give the illusion that we're given a target and then we take it away. That's one way to set a trap, right? So if I'm here, lead hand low, obviously the right hand's wide open. They hit him with the right hand. He's got his left hand low. Keep your hands up, right? That's the favorite one that everybody likes to say. Keep your hands up. Well, what happens when I got my left hand low? You go to shoot that right, bang, and I check hook you over the top. Can't demonstrate it right here, but I mean, anybody who knows a check hook knows that that's one of the main reasons you throw a check hook. All right, so you give a disguise that you are giving an opening and then you take it away with a punch. You see what I'm saying? Like I told you earlier, you could throw the jab at the hand, feint it, and then drop a hook around the side, right? So we're setting traps in that manner, right? I throw a left hook to the body, bang. Now next time I drop my head, right hand, lead down the side. You know what I'm saying? I'm in close. I touch one side of your body to get you to block it, and boom, I rip an uppercut up the center. All right, like the great Mike Tyson used to do. All right, you see Mike Tyson on my shirt. All right, he'll hit you with that right hook, touch you with that right hook, boom, bow, and then what comes behind that? Bow. You see what I'm saying? So these are all ways that you set traps. One thing sets up the other. And that was also putting punches together. That's also technically combinations. So you see how everything works together now? You know what I mean? One thing helps the other thing. One punch set up the other punch, right? So this is basically how boxing works, right? So everything's got to work together. Everything's got to work together, okay? Another thing you can make sure that you focus on, guys. Another thing you can make sure you focus on is creating angles, right? So I got a whole course on creating angles with Fast Eddie Chambers. If you guys haven't checked that out, you got to go to the website. If you did get it and you do have it and you're watching this, you need to go and watch it again and watch it again, because we give out so many gems on creating angles. Now, how do you create angles in boxing? You create angles in boxing by freezing your opponent. How do you freeze your opponent? Okay, well, let me explain that a little bit more, okay? I talk about this in the course, okay? Angles can be very easy to deal with. It can be very easy to deal with, and it also could be very difficult to deal with. It all depends on who's in front of you. You got somebody with extremely good footwork, good fundamentals, good feinting, good speed, difficult to deal with, right? But at the end of the day, an angle is simply just getting on the side of your opponent. But if I get to one side of you and the other guy goes the other direction, he takes the angle away very easily. So how do I create the angle? Well, I got to freeze you. How do I freeze you? I can hit you. Bang, right? I hit you with a punch. You hit. Your eyes in the sky. You're frozen. Now that you're frozen, I can go ahead and get an angle. Or I can feint you, get you to cover up. Now you believe that I was really gonna throw a shot. You're covered up. You're frozen for a second. I could spin around you. Bang! I could get an angle. Or you could throw a shot at me. You think you're gonna hit me, and I get under it somehow, and I miss completely. Frozen for a second, and that's where I can get an angle. Bang! And I can catch you. Right. So freezing your opponent is the way you get the angles off. Okay. You can also get angles off by just lateral movement. Right. Angles aren't always these short angles where you're cutting them, just getting to the side of your opponent's an angle. So I could be working the jab laterally, you know what I'm saying? Working the jab laterally, getting around you in a circle. I could be using footwork, give you misdirection, go this way and then circle to my right. And if I can get you to get off balance, that's called turning your opponent. That's really another way of getting an angle. So angles are very important because you want to put yourself in a position to hit and not get hit, right? There's a video of Customato talking to Mike Tyson, telling him that you want to be in a position to hit and not get hit. So this is what angles are. You want to be in the best and the safest place you can be and still be able to be effective with your punches. But you can't just, angles don't just come easily. You have to create angles. It's basically like creating opportunities. You have to create opportunities. They don't just happen. You feel what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and look in this comment section real quick. See a lot of people like, press like, y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. I know I'm talking about my own topics right now. I hope you guys are getting value. If you guys are getting value so far, You know what I mean? Just let me know yes. Just say yes or something simple, just so I know. Press the like button. Share this with somebody who you think would get value from this. You know what I'm saying? God bless you too, champ. We got my man right here dropping jewels. I appreciate you. T God. Bust the Martian. All right. I see you. I see you. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I appreciate it, man. A lot of people getting value from this, man. That's what I want, man. That's the whole purpose of this. If you guys are gonna be up late with me and we're gonna be on the live, I just want to make sure that I'm providing value for you guys. That this is something that you guys are getting from this, all right? Anything you say is invaluable, coach. Is valuable, coach. I appreciate you. Thank you for the love. Thank you for that. Okay, so we talked about creating angles, right? Now, let's go ahead and talk about something else that's very important for your offense, right? And that is work on your timing, right? Now, how do you work on timing, right? You got to be able to time your punches. Great timing is one of the best things you could do. Somebody that comes to my mind who has great timing was like Danny Garcia, right? Danny Garcia could freaking just throw a hook and boom, land that thing, right? It almost looked like, but his timing was good with it. So he was very effective with it, right? So timing is very important in boxing, right? You got to have good timing. How do you work your timing, right? You got the double M bag, right? You got mitt work, of course, is going to always be helpful, right? But the number one way you work on your timing is sparring. That's the number one way you work on your timing, because that's why when you see fighters who have been inactive for a long time, they'll tell you, people will say, oh, he's been inactive, his timing's off, right? Timing is the number one way. I mean, sparring and fighting is the best way to keep your timing sharp, period. You know what I mean? Actually competing and competing in the gym, you know what I mean? Which is technically your sparring, a simulation of a fight. That's number one. You can't top that. You can hit all the mitts you want. You can hit all the double ends you want. It ain't going to matter. You know what I'm saying? Some people naturally have better timing than others, though. I will say that. Just like some people are naturally just faster than others, and others naturally hit harder, right? This is true as well. There are some people who just naturally have an inclination to time punches. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. So I will say that. But to maximize your own potential, you need to be consistently actually boxing somebody. That's how you do that. You constantly box somebody. Remember, at the end of the day, boxing is a two-person sport. You can't do this by yourself. People ask me that all the time, like when it comes to like my defensive course. Like, coach, if I buy your defensive course, can I learn defense without anybody around? Like, you can understand it, but you're not necessarily going to learn it till somebody throws punches at you and you actually apply the stuff that I'm teaching in the course. So will the course be effective at you? It'll be effective at you for the sense of you understanding it. But will you be able to do it? You won't be able to do it until you actually get in that ring and somebody punches at you. Period. Anybody on YouTube who is teaching instructionals, who's selling courses, who tells you anything different, is lying to you. All right. As much as I want to make money, as much as I want to sell you guys courses, as much as I want you guys to come to my YouTube channel and watch my free videos, I don't want to be a liar either. You have to have somebody in front of you throwing some punches in order for you to maximize your results. Now, can you shadow box and work on some defensive stuff? Of course. You know what I mean? I could work on defense shadow boxing. Look, I just blocked the hook. I just blocked the right hand. I just slipped the right hand. I just rolled under the hook. I just rolled under the other way. I just step back. I just dropped. I could just pivot off of that. I can visualize, but ain't nothing like the real thing, man. Ain't nothing like the real thing. But the good thing about the information in the courses is at least you will have an understanding about it. So when you do get in front of somebody, you're not like stuck in like, oh, I don't, like a fish out of water, right? You kind of understand. You understand it. So now it's like, okay, I've seen this 100 times. I watched the videos. Now I kind of can do it. Oh, now I get it. Now it makes sense. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, timing gets trained through actual boxing. You have to box, period. That's how you get your timing. And everything matters. You know, your training, your sparring, your fighting, everything works together. You know, you're just like footwork is ineffective if you have no defense, and defense is ineffective if you have no offense. So everything helps each other. You got to throw punches, you got to move your feet, you got to move your head, you got to block punches, you got to counter punch, you got to time punches. This is just a big, like, these are just ingredients for a recipe. In order for you to get the main course, though, everything has to get included in there. You feel what I'm saying? All right. Let's go ahead and see what y'all talking about in the chat. Say it loud. Gotta spar boxes. Yes, 100%. My man Nate Jules, man, I appreciate you. Appreciate you, champ. This is a Jew. I appreciate you. Like Bruce said, boards don't hit back. Yeah, man. You know what I mean? You gotta, I mean, that's just what it takes. All right. So then the next thing I want to make sure that we cover when we talk about our offenses, we got to go to the body, guys. We got to target the body, right? A lot of fighters become headhunters. Everybody want to knock somebody out with a headshot, but you got to throw to the body. Okay, you got to remember. Listen, I got a 3 courses: 50 combinations to the head, 50 combinations to the body, and 50 head body combinations. Right? It's part of this, and I got a heavy back conditioning drills course. It's part of like this theme that I had going on, where it was like a heavy bag, you know, extravaganza theme. Right? I used to sell it. I used to call it the 150 killer combo package a couple of years ago, but now I don't sell it by itself because you can get all 16 of my courses for such a ridiculous price right now. If you go to the website, that is like, why even break it up, right? But at the end of the day, I got 50 combos to the body, right? And then I got 50 head body combos. Now, why did I do that? Because when you throw to the body, the head, you create openings to the head. When you throw to the head, you create openings to the body, right? So at the end of the day, you got to mix it up. You got to go high. You got to go low.
23
hours. You got to go low, right? You got to get your opponent to not know, right? They're here. They're blocking here. Next thing you know, they leave a hole downstairs. You rip downstairs. Now they got to go here. Now there's a hole here. You bring the same hook upstairs. This is how you get your shots off. That goes back to mixing up combinations, right? But at the end of the day, body shots hurt. And they linger. I mean, the liver. You know what I'm saying? Think about it, right? So you have to throw to the body, guys. You can't just throw to the head. And if you only throw to the head, I know what's coming. I know, okay, he's going to throw another shot to the head. I get it. He's going to throw another shot to the head. So now all I got to do is be alert. Block, step back, slip, right? I mean, but if you're throwing to my body, like I said before, I got to drop the elbows. I got to drop my knees. I got to bring the hands up. I got to go back down. I got to try to punch with you. Like, it just makes it much more difficult. So make sure you do not neglect the body. And if you can become an effective body puncher, woo-wee, you're a dangerous person and you're a feared person. In a boxing ring, you are feared if you know how to go to the body. Now, why are you so feared if you know how to go to the body in a boxing ring? We all know that boxing is a stamina game as well, right? It's a mental game and a stamina game. And we all know that punching to the body kills your stamina, takes your wind out. So if I'm boxing somebody who's in front of me who I know knows how to take my wind away with hard body punches, guess what? I already have a level of anxiety because I know there's a potential that I could be fighting really well and he could zap it all out of me with a body shot. And if he does that now with less stamina, now my legs are weak, guess what? He's going to create openings for headshots and potentially hurt me bad, right? So you definitely want to get good at throwing to the body. An effective body puncher is a very dangerous fighter and a very feared fighter, okay? Anybody who boxes knows If they know they're going against somebody who goes to the body effectively, I'm not just talking about a guy who throws body punch. I'm talking about a guy who man, this guy breaks ribs, man, when he goes downstairs. Trust me, you're not excited to fight that guy. You're not. I don't give a shit how tough you are. You're not excited about it. You're like, oh shit, I gotta fight this motherfucker, man. Damn it. I should have ran yesterday. I shouldn't have had those 3 drinks over the weekend. Yeah, it's real now. It's real now, right? It ain't all about looking pretty and all that shit. It's real now. So you definitely want to target the body, guys. Very, very, very important. One second, guys. Any questions about body shots? Any questions about body punches, guys? I'm actually going through the comments now. What's the best way to set up a liver shot? I mean, one of my favorite ways is to throw a hook to the head, hook to the body. Now you got to understand though, also, right? This is a gem right here. Here's a gem right here. Get your pen and paper, guys. Right? For me, well, actually, it could work either way, actually, believe it or not. So for me, as an orthodox fighter, I like to throw that hook to the head, hook to the body. Now, why do I like to do that? When somebody blocks the hook to the head, the body is exposed, right? So that's where I can dig into that liver. Wow, boom, right? So when I throw the hook, there's 2 ways I could do it. I could throw the hook like I mean it, boom, right? Get the guy to really feel that. So now when he feels that, he's happy he blocked that. Because he knows, shit, if I didn't block that, that would have hurt. Off that right there, boom, I got to get over quick. And I got to get that shot off. You got to be quick. Because it ain't nothing for a guy to go boop, boop, and block both. So you got to make sure that you throw that shot in a way that he's there for a split second. And off that split second, you can get over and rip that second shot. Right? That's one way to set it up. Another thing you got to remember is if you're fighting a southpaw now, the southpaws are standing here, right? Right hand in the front. But guess what? For all my righties out there, southpaws lead with the liver. See what I'm saying? And I actually got that from my man Billy Briscoe. The way he articulately told me that. Big shout out to Billy Briscoe, right? But he said southpaws leads with the liver, which, I mean, it's common sense, but at the same time, nobody thinks about that, right? So as an orthodox fighter, my liver is in the rear side of my body, right? This is right where I'm blocking here. But as a southpaw, the liver is actually closer to me, right? Everybody talks about the right hand lead. Nobody talks about hitting the southpaw in the liver because the liver is actually closer. So it's very important for that southpaw to protect that lead side because if I can get to that liver, it's actually closer to me. You see what I'm saying? And guess what? It's the same combination. Hook high, hook low. Because from a southpaw perspective, you still got to respect it. But now the hook is right there. See what I'm saying? So very, very effective. So take that with you guys. Free of charge from your boy, Coach Anthony. Free of charge. Take that, put that in your pocket. You see what I'm saying? Make believe you thought of that on your own. You didn't hear that from Coach Anthony. That was, I'm smart. I thought of that one. All right? So take that with you. You feel what I'm saying? But that's a gem right there. Trust me. And it'll come in really handy in your boxing journey if you run into a southpaw one day. Okay? Southpaws, right? That same effective combo is a little different if you're boxing a righty because our livers in the back. So as a southpaw, rare breed, right? You got to try to land that left hook to the body because you're standing like this. So your right hand is going to target this side of my body, which is my lead side. My liver's not on this side. My liver's on this side. So you got to actually pull like a Roy Jones, right? If you watch when Roy Jones beat Virgil Hill, he was like working that jab and threw that right hook around the side. For you, it's the opposite. You got to work your jab and throw that left hook around the side because you're a southpaw. You're boxing the opposite stance. I got a whole course on this, guys, called How to Box the Opposite Stance. And guess what? For the month of July, we got a special going on. And if you like Coach Anthony Boxing, you will take advantage and go check out the courses on the website. All right, you guys can get the courses ridiculously cheap. It is Christmas in July. Christmas in July. That How to Box the Opposite Stance course is, man, I should take it off. I should take it off of my website. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, it's too much information in there. I should just take it off. I should take off damn near everything off my website and just leave Build You From the Ground Up 1.0, Build You From the Ground Up 2.0, Footwork Drills, and Defensive Principles 101, because that right there is enough to keep you busy, and snatch everything else off. Take off how to box from the inside, how to box from the outside, how to set traps and counterpunch, how to create angles, how to box the opposite stance, the Philly shell system, the 150 combos, the heavy back conditioning drills that I've used to help people go to the Olympic trials. Okay? I should take all that other shit off and keep that just for me and my athletes. You know, honestly, the truth. But it's on there right now for as long as I decide to keep it on there. Because I know people right now selling courses on the internet who are high-profile trainers that are not teaching a little bit of what I'm teaching, and they're charging damn near the same money. And people are buying their shit. You know what I'm saying? People are buying their stuff. So, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. But anyway, those are some stuff that you guys can take with you right there. Next. We want to vary the pace, right? We want to change our speeds. We want to change our speeds when we're throwing punches. I actually got a video on YouTube about this. Changing speeds. We want to change our speeds, guys. We don't want to throw up punches at the same speed. Bop, bop, bop. Very easy to pick up the timing. Very easy to, catch the rhythm. You want to change it. You want to, like my boy Eddie Chambers. Eddie Chambers will walk around the ring like this, real slow. And then, boom, he'll just throw something quick. And you'll be like, yo, I didn't think you were going to throw that. He'll be like, oh, he likes to play a lot. And then, boom, he'll just shoot a quick shot. You know what I'm saying? So you want to change your speeds. You know what I mean? When you're hitting the heavy bag, you want to be like, bop, 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 bop. Be like, you don't want somebody to be able to catch that speed. So you want to change your speeds, change your speeds, change your speeds. This is how you keep your opponent confused and make it difficult for them to pick up on patterns, right? Because once a fighter picks up on your patterns, you're in a very dangerous situation, right? So definitely mixing up the speed is a great way to make your offense better. Let me go ahead and go into these comments real quick. Gotta go right to the super chat. The real McCoy, coach, keep doing your thing, man. You are greatly appreciated. Don't worry about the other lane and what the guys are doing over there. Yo, no doubt, brother. I just be talking, man. I be playing. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, when I say stuff like that, it's like comedy, realistic comedy. Like, I'm being serious, but I'm joking. Like, I'm not pressed on it or nothing like that. I'm not butthurt about it. I just want my people to know that this is coming from the heart and this is real. And the stuff that I'm teaching is real. And the people that I got with me is real. And that's it. And I have to reinforce that, especially for the new people who are in here. You know what I mean? I just need the people to understand and feel that. But the truth is, my brother, I'm highly blessed. You see what I'm saying? And I'm cool. And trust me, I ain't worried about what nobody else is doing because I'm doing great. And you know what I'm saying? I just be playing, though. It's like kind of like it's joking, like arrogant joking, I guess you could call it. But the truth is, brother, I'm cool as a fan, man. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you coming in here, showing love, man. You know what I'm saying? Think I'll take the plunge and get one of those courses. Don't take it off. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I'm a southpaw, so lead with the liver shot. Got it. Yeah, you are a southpaw, so you're leading with your liver. So you have to protect your liver since you're a southpaw, right? The liver shot for you would be you throwing your rear hand around the side of an orthodox. If you're fighting a southpaw, their liver's in the front, which that would mean you would be throwing it with your lead hook, your right hook to the body. Thank you, Coach. I visualize everything you said and it make perfect sense. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. If I skip your question, guys, don't take it personal, right? I'm just trying to like run through it and I'm gonna get as many people as I can. Jimmy, my guy Jimmy, how can you comfortably move to the right so you're not always circling to your left into your opponent's power hand? Okay, okay. I love this question. I love this question. So look, this is gonna be a answer that I hope that you guys can follow. And I'm gonna go into one thing and then go into another thing. So for those of you guys out there who are boxing nerds like me, you guys are appreciated. For you guys with low attention span, you're probably gonna fall asleep. What up? Hopefully this helps somebody. Hopefully this helps you, Jimmy. How can you comfortably move to the right so you're not circling into the power hand, right? That's the question. Now, we have to rethink the question for 1 second here. When you are boxing somebody, the left hook is a power shot and the right hand is a power shot. So no matter which direction you move, you're running into a power shot. Let's just be clear about that. Okay? Now, yes, I understand if you're boxing an orthodox fighter, my right hand is my power shot, right? I write with it all day. I've been throwing freaking baseballs and footballs with it my whole life. It's my dominant hands, what I eat with, right? That's the theory. That's why it's your dominant hand. But when we become boxers, what do? 90% of the time, you do have your certain fighters who they're converted, southpaws. But for the most part, traditionally, what do? We take a righty or southpaw and we put their power hand in the rear. And I put my lead hand, which is my weak hand, in the front. But in boxing is a what? 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1 ratio, right? What do I mean by that? For those of you guys who are getting lost. What I mean by that is when you're working your jab, the same way I said in the beginning of the video, if I throw 100 punches, 60 of them should be jabs, right? Off that jab, I'm going to be throwing hooks, which in turn means I'm throwing this 2 to 3 times more than I'm throwing my power hand. So what ends up happening? I end up developing my lead side to equally balance my rear side because I'm throwing this hand 2 to 3 times more than I am throwing this hand. Some cases 4 times more, depending on what kind of fighter I am, right? So you're saying, how do I get comfortable circling to right so I don't run into the power shot? I want to make sure I'm clear that this is a power shot too. So what do you need to be doing? Well, first you got to get cool with the lateral movement. That's first, right? You got to be able to circle left, circle right. I got it in my footwork course, Jimmy. I think you grabbed courses from me, right? If I'm not mistaken, I believe so. I see you in the community. So the footwork course, we go over the lateral movement and how to circle and everything. So once you understand how to circle and stuff like that, and you understand that, now the next thing is the theories behind it, right? So that's why I have something where I say step back and circle. Because we don't just want to circle. You circle to the right, bop, you run into a hook. You circle to the left, bop, you run into a right hand. So what do? You step back out of distance. So therefore, if I shoot a hook, I miss by default. And then you can make a decision which direction you want to go, whether you want to go left or whether you want to go right. Now, here goes another gem for those of you who are moving left into the quote-unquote power hand. That's where your jab comes into play. That's where your jab, your hooks, and your feints come into play. So let's visualize somebody who was fantastic at this. Muhammad Ali. When Muhammad Ali would circle to the left, bop, 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 right? He'd be dancing but he be going to the left in a circle. Wop, wop, right? What was he doing? He was keeping his opponent on defense by using his offense, okay? Because he was throwing a good jab, right? We always we talked about this in other lives, right? There's 4 lines of defense, and the 4th one is offense. And we also talk about a good offense can't be defended. It cannot be countered. It can only be defended. A good offense. So what's a good offense? A good jab. A good jab comes in what ways? A good snap, good feinting, good manipulating of distance, right? Understanding your timing. This is how you get a good jab, right? So when you have all those things in order and you're circling into the quote unquote power hand that I want to throw, guess what I got to do with that power hand now? I got to defend it. And how do I defend the jab? I use my power hand, right? So I'm catching, I'm slipping, I'm trying not to get hit with that jab because I'm trying to time a right hand over it, right? But I'm too busy getting, okay, so now I got to reset. And then as soon as I feel, if I'm the guy jabbing, as soon as I feel like, okay, he might get my time, then I circle to the right and take it all away. But when I circle to the right, what did I do first? I step back and circle to the right. So I'm clearing the distance. So there goes my super complicated answer for your question. And hopefully you can run this back and visualize everything I'm saying. But I just wanted to make sure that I give you that. You feel me? Because a lot of the times people feel like circling right or circling left. It's all about what's appropriate at that appropriate time for what's happening in front of you. Don't get too caught up into the power hands and the this and the that. What you just have to do is make decisions based off what's happening in front of you and know how to deal with that. And that's where good boxing education comes in, like the courses, like a good teacher, like a coach who's really going to hold your hand and teach you this stuff. You see what I'm saying? This is where this becomes valuable. All right? I hope that helped, champ. Guys, if you're getting value from this, man, please let it be known. Be like, Coach, thank you. I am getting value from this, man. Guys, do not forget to grab my phone number. Shoot me a text, 215-709-5437. So you can be texted whenever I got anything going on, whether that's a live stream, some sort of a special sale. You ask a question and you caught me at the right time and I could just answer it right there. Feel me? Grab the number 215-709-5437 and I will be more than glad to respond to you. To be like, yo, I was in your live chat tonight, Coach. Just wanted to let you know I grabbed your number and I'll text you back tonight. I guarantee it. I will promise you. I'll text you back to acknowledge that I see that you text me. Also, do not forget right now, go to the website, CoachAnthonyBoxing.com. Listen, guys, support it. Support the courses, guys. Support it because you guys are in these streams asking some really good questions, and those courses got the answers, man. You'll be surprised how many people just don't want to take the time out to study. You have to study. Anything you want to get good at, you have to study. And then you have to apply what you learned. And a lot of people don't have the access to the kind of teaching and teachers that I've been exposed to in my life. And that's why I'm blessed enough to be here, able to explain the way I do and answer these questions on the drop of a dime. You notice I'm doing this live. I answer these questions live. They're not pre-recorded, edited, right? That's how you know it's really here. That's how I'm proud of that, right? Because I've been doing this 2 decades. It's really here. You can ask the question, I can answer it, all right? That's what you need. And if you're not getting that from your coach, you can come over here to Coach Anthony Boxing, and I'll be that coach that can answer those questions for you. Thank you, man. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Appreciate the value. I appreciate you guys saying that after I asked you too, guys. So don't think like, you know what I'm saying? I'm highly appreciative. Coach Anthony makes everyone better. I appreciate you that, man. Amazing virtual coaching. This love for real. Thank you, man. Philly area code. Do you have a boxing gym in Philly? I live in Delaware looking for a gym. I train in the Philadelphia area. I had a gym up here for 10 years, closed it. So I'm not technically running a gym up here at this particular time. Within the next 12 months, I will have a gym again. And the location has not been selected yet. So once I do select the location, uh, excuse me, we back in business because I miss having a gym. So be on the lookout. Content tonight is great. Thank you very much. Excellent live once again. Thank you, Eugenie, and thank you for participating in the community, man. The people love you, man. The people love you. And guys, just so you guys know, okay, we have a private community when you grab my courses, okay? And I don't think that people really realize how important community is. But being around people who have the same goals as you, people posting, and some of the people in this chat right now are in the community, like Eugenie, who just said excellent live once again. He's Eugenie, can you come in here real quick, Eugenie? I want to talk to you real quick because you this week, I'm proud of you, man. You said some really good stuff. Let me know in the chat if you can get in here. But just having people who are willing to help each other and lift each other is something that I've been wanting to create since last year. Last year on Black Friday is when I first launched my community. And now just looking at it flourish is super, super, super dope, man. And I would love to have more of you guys in the community. Now, what is the benefits of the community? Example, you hitting a heavy bag and you want me to answer how you look on the bag. This is something that I get on Instagram every single day. Okay. This is something that I get every single day. Coach, can you watch me hit the bag? Coach, can you watch my son hit a spar? Right? It's not that I'm too cool to watch, but like there's people who are invested in my programs that are doing that already. And those are the people who I'm watching. Those are the people who I'm interacting with. Those are the people who I'm giving game to. You see what I'm saying? I can't just give game. That's what these lives are for, to give you as much value as I can. My videos. I don't know if you guys checked out my most recent video, How to Master the Jab. Super, super important video. You guys need to go watch that video. I think that video should be one of my most viewed videos. I don't know how many people are actually going to go actually watch it, but I'm telling you, How to Master the Jab is a very, very important video. That's on YouTube, right? Free of charge, guys. So just so you guys know, there's a lot of things you guys could be doing and taking advantage of. All right. I want to bring you in here, Eugenie. I'm going to put this link, all right, because you are a very valuable person to the community. I just want you to touch on it a little bit. Hit that link right there. I'm guessing you're asking if I have any sales right now. Yes, I do. I got one of my biggest sales. Matter of fact, I got the biggest sale I've had since Black Friday on my website right now. So you guys got to go to the website. Typically, I do like a CA Power Hour now, but the sale is so good I can't even afford to give you guys a CA Power Hour right now because it's already ridiculously cheap. So hold on, let me bring in my guy. Eugene.
How are you doing?
Eugene, what's good?
Everything is great, man. I'm just enjoying your life as always. You always bring the knowledge and the wisdom. And I think you're younger than me, but I definitely feel like you're years, if not decades wiser as far as the boxing game.
Well, I mean, boxing is one of those things where the earlier you start, the earlier you get the experience and the knowledge. But give me 1 second.
Yeah. Well, interestingly enough, I've been in boxing since I was 13 years old. And I
Oh,
used to coach at a very good gym here in Toronto called Atlas Boxing Club under Adrian Teodorescu, who was actually the coach of Lennox Lewis when Lennox Lewis won the gold medal for Canada as an amateur.
okay.
Uh, I even went to Cuba and I did an apprenticeship for coach because half my life I live it really in Cuba. My son is there, my family is there. So I was lucky also to meet some great trainers in Cuba, get grabbed their Cuban boxing manual, learn from them, and did somewhat of an apprenticeship there where I learned a lot. But to be honest with you, I'm just surprised at your knowledge because I was at one point thinking, you know what, I've learned so much from so many coaches, and then I see a lot of coaches in Canada, not to depreciate them, but they're not on that level. And then I stumbled into your videos like 4 years ago on YouTube, and I'm like, wow, this person really knows a lot of stuff, and I felt like I knew it all. But then, like every video, every course, it's like opening my eyes more and more and more. And I don't have a hat, but I tip my hat off to you because I'm just amazed at your knowledge.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, and I'm also very appreciative because, like, for instance, I'm trying to tell people about the community, right? And I know you've been part of it for a while, and just the fact, like the long message you put this week on nutrition, right?
Yeah,
Like, it's like you're helping so many people in the community as a member. And when I read that post, I said, man, this is such a valuable post. And that's what I'm looking for when I build the community. I'm looking for, if I'm busy running the world, you guys are helping each other still. And that's the purpose of the community, right? The community isn't, oh, we have to rely only on Coach Anthony, even though I do love when people ask me, yo, Coach, what do you think about this? And I can answer them. But if there's people who can help each other, who's knowledgeable, that's even more of a benefit. And I see people making friends, sending each other friend requests. And it's just the vision I had is starting to come to light right now. And that's why I wanted you to bring on and talk about that a little bit.
no, and to be honest with you, even right now I'm in a boxing gym. I go there not to compete, not anything like that. I'm 41. I'm just looking to get in shape. I have an itch to hit the backs again and stuff like that. But I see a lot of kids who are struggling even with the basic stance, and they're asked to spar. Imagine they don't even have a proper stance yet. They're trying to spar. It's like a mess. So I don't even know what to tell them because I don't have the time to spend with them. But I'm thinking, hey, maybe you can go to Coach Anthony's website and pick up some boxing from there because obviously you're not getting it here. Um, so yeah, it's interesting. But anyway, not to promote you because somebody might think, hey, Eugene is dropping here. He's getting paid by Coach Anthony. He's doing a promotion. That's not the case at all. That's not the case at all. 100% false. This is all from the heart. Anyway,
Thank you.
somebody asked you a great question about moving to the right and avoiding the right hand, and maybe I can follow up on that question if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I think also sometimes when you move to your left, and let's say as an orthodox against an orthodox fighter, and you have the fear that the right hand will intercept you there, especially if you're not jabbing. Also, if the person is not moving with you at the same time to his left, then he's technically trying to throw the right hand away from his body, and this is a very unnatural movement. You never hit the pads away from your body with the right hand. You never hit the heavy bag away from your body. So also that fear of maybe circling to the right hand, uh, I mean to your left, where you can run into the right hand. I don't think it's that valid. It can be if you're not jobbing, if you're dropping your hand.
The only thing I will say is if somebody throws like a looping shot,
Yeah, that's correct, 100%.
that's
Now,
the only
some
shot I would be concerned about if it's not a straight right hand. You know what I mean?
100% right. Maybe I don't know, just go underneath it once in a
Yeah,
while.
you could roll under it. Exactly.
Oh, I've seen actually some fighters like Canelo and Manny Pacquiao, for example, when they double the jab, they commit this cardinal sin that we call in boxing, where they would flare the elbow up. But I started thinking about it. Maybe they're flaring it up for a reason to avoid the looping shot. Let's say Manny Pacquiao going with a double jab to his right as a southpaw, and he's flaring his elbow quite a bit. And then by flaring the elbow, he's actually kind of protecting against, like, let's say a counter left hook from the same. I've noticed Canelo does the same thing also when
I,
he
I,
doubles.
I have to see it. I'm not. I don't. I can't think of it right off my head. Like visualize Canelo bringing the elbow up, but I have to see it.
No, no, just in certain situations, not like when he throws a single jab, he throws it perfectly. But sometimes he would just flare the elbow. I mean, like, but that's like a minor trick. That's not like a fundamental or anything like that. But I was saying when you were saying when somebody moves to the right, first they should step back and then move to the right. That's a great point. my question to you is, a lot of us we're taught to circle to the left and create an angle with a double jab, with a single jab. Maybe you can even triple it. But we're not taught to really double the jab going to the right. We're told step to the right, back foot first, lead foot second, and then throw the jab. Is there any way for you to go to your right and double the jab? I haven't seen it really done by anybody, but that's why I'm asking you.
Um, you you could. It'll be a very ineffective jab if you ask me. More of like a.
Hmm.
But typically, when people are circling back or to the right, I usually tell people to circle, stop, and then punch, right? As opposed to stepping as they punch. So it's like you're circling and then you stop and then you pop because you want to be effective with that jab. And in order to be effective, that back foot needs to stop for a second so you can get it off. So actually jabbing to the right, yes, it can be done in theory. It can be, but it's not going to be super effective. It might be more just like a retreat, like super, but you have to, you know what I mean? It's not a really an effective part. And that's the reason why you don't see it that often.
I saw something. Actually, you have one of your. I don't know if you have 1,000 videos on YouTube, maybe hundreds of videos on YouTube. But you directed me from the last live stream. You directed me to a video where how to cut. I was asking you a video about the left hook, but eventually I stumbled upon this video, how to cut an angle from the right side. So you're pretty much throwing a 1-2, stepping to your right, throwing another right hand, and then cutting an angle with the left hook, stepping with your back foot forward. Can you visualize what I'm saying?
Okay, say it one more time.
Okay, so you throw the 1-2, step to your right, come back with another right hand. From that point on, you want to create an angle to your right. So you step with the right foot first and throw a left hook. So then you can come back with the left hook to the body. Can you visualize it now?
Yeah, I think I got a video like exactly like
Yes. You got exactly a video of that. So I'm thinking by going to your right when you're cutting the angle, instead of throwing that left hook when you're cutting the angle, can you do it with the jab?
that.
You know what I mean?
I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can. It's a little
Mhm.
unnatural for me. Only reason why I would say it's a little unnatural for me is because of the where is my distance when I'm doing this? Right? If I'm already kind of close, then I'm probably gonna want to shoot a hook because I'm also gonna just cut quick and shoot to the body. Where a jab, I might be smothering it, but for the most part, it's definitely doable. You see a lot of like the Ukrainian fighters and the Soviet Union fighters do little unorthodox moves like that, where they'll throw the jab instead of the hook in certain situations where we
Yeah.
would usually throw a hook. So is it doable? Yes. Is
Yeah.
it something I would do? Probably not. But
Mhm.
can it be done? Yes. Because it's simply the same movement patterns.
Yeah. It's the same footwork. It's just like you're
Yeah.
substituting with a jab.
And
Okay.
it might actually work because somebody may go to cover the hook and then and get hit with the jab. A lot of the times people don't think about that. Like the jab can be used so many different ways. Like, if you know the hook is coming and I go 2-1, we call that the reverse, where a
Yeah.
lot of times guys will throw a right hand, left hook. But if I go right hand and now I'm here, people think the hook is coming, but I come up the middle with the jab. Somebody goes to block the hook, their left hand is up, they still get hit up the middle with the jab. So the
So I'm
jab,
thinking,
the
yeah,
jab can be used so many ways.
I'm thinking it could become actually like a right hand and then a swivel jab while cutting the angle at the same time. But anyway, no, I haven't seen it. I saw the video of you how you do it with the left hook, and that looks amazing. But I was thinking maybe it could be implemented. But hey, thanks for the insight.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's one of those things where you could definitely get creative with it, but it just depends on the athlete and stuff
The
of that.
situation, yeah, of
And how
course,
much do you actually train it? How much do you actually train it? Anything can be applied if it's drilled regularly. You know what I'm saying?
100%, 100%.
Yeah. But thank you, man. Thank you for coming on here with the great
Thank you,
questions
sir, for taking so much of your time.
and
I hope.
keep staying active, please, man. Don't disappear.
Thank you. Likewise. Have a good one.
All right, Eugene. Take care, man. Eugene, man, always showing love, man. always coming in with some unique questions to challenge the brain. You know what I mean? That's what I like about that, man. So, guys, if you guys want to be part of the community, real simple, go to CoachAnthonyBoxing.com, pick up one of the tier packages. I always recommend to start with the bronze. We're gonna actually be removing the gold and the silver tier soon due to overflow of people that have been signing up. So probably remove those, but I always recommend people to check out the bronze. It's the cheapest one. Go check that out and join the community, man. Join the community. Let me watch you shadowbox. Let me watch you hit the bag. Let me go ahead and help you on a more personal level, not just when I decide to do a live every couple of weeks or whenever I do them. You see what I'm saying? It's definitely something where you can have interaction on a regular basis. Super affordable. I think it averages out to like $31 a course. The community is free. Anything that we do extra in the community is free. So it's like it's definitely well worth the money, man. So if you guys want, go to the website CoachAnthonyBoxing.com. And that's it, man. I want to say thank you for everybody who showed up. Make sure you guys grab my number. Shoot me a text, 215-709-5437. Like I said, this is probably going to be my last live stream for maybe a little bit over a week. And then we're going to get set on a schedule. I'm going to get on a schedule with you guys. Once I get back, settle back and everything, I definitely want to get on a nice schedule with a lot of the stuff I do. I want to become more schedule oriented, right? I don't want to just keep on living life on the edge. I want to be a little bit more. That's always been my battle on like being a little bit more on a schedule. But yeah, so we'll be doing that as well. So thank you guys again. Make sure you guys go to the website, shoot a text. Peace.